Hi guys, welcome back again. I'm your host Jamie Carter. This is Football Heaven 24/7. We're going back to my last episode I've just done. It was reviewing last night's EFL action, basically Tuesday night's EFL action. What I'm going to do now is continue with the tribute to the Premier League, celebrating the 30th anniversary, basically, of the Premier League. I've done 12 seasons already. I've covered 12 seasons. I believe I've done it over 4 or 5 episodes, which you can watch at your leisure. They're only small episodes, sort of ranging between 8 to 12 minutes, sort of for most of the episodes. So in that, I've normally covered 2 or 3 seasons in the past of the Premier League. So what we're up to now after doing 12 seasons worth. Manchester United and Arsenal have dominated the first 12 seasons of the Premier League, which is obviously pretty boring unless you're those fans. But we see a changing of the guard. It had to happen. Just for clarification, I'm not a Man City fan. I'd love wearing all the different shirts. There's a lot of nice shirts out there. I'm a Forest fan and I support Scunthorpe United as well, mainly because I lived there, lived in Lincolnshire most of my childhood. So that's basically, you'll see me supporting Scunthorpe of the conference. Obviously, I'm banging on a lot about Forest because obviously more people are interested in the Premier League, and obviously Forest are back there for the first time in 23 years. But that as a side note, we're going into the 2004-5 season, and there was a shifting of the guard. Abramovich, the Russian owner, had just come in over the last few seasons to take charge of Chelsea, and Chelsea had been building a strong side over the last few seasons. They've been showing glimpses of it. They finished second in the 2003-4 season previous to this, and the season before that, they'd finished in fourth. So there were signs that they were getting into the Champions League places, the top four. There were signs that Chelsea was starting to grow and develop. Good young players coming through, obviously from the John Terry, obviously most notably at the back. Joe Cole had come in that time from West Ham. Also, Frank Lampard had come from West Ham, and these players were starting to get stronger and strengthen this Chelsea team. So, anyway, we'll go straight into the 2004-5. As I say, it changed. It always all changed. Arsenal and Manchester United were still up there. They were still fighting for everything. But there was to become, the special one was to come in the shape of Jose Mourinho. He had just won the Champions League with Porto. He had just knocked Manchester United out, I believe, of the quarterfinals of the Champions League on the way to winning the Champions League. And he'd obviously won the Portuguese title. So when he came in, he was a bit cocky, but obviously he backed it up because he said, I am not just like the normal kind of run of the mill manager. I am the special one because I have won the Champions League and has also won the title. So he comes in, he's cocky. It could have been a downfall. A lot of managers have been cocky before, and it's backfired against them. But in this case, he lived up to the hype. Chelsea won the league with 95 points. They were 12 points ahead of Arsenal, who were in second place, and they were even further in front of Manchester United. They were 18 points in front of Manchester United. So rebuilding was going on obviously at Manchester United that season, but Chelsea absolutely stormed to the title. 29 victories, 8 draws, and only 1 defeat all season. As I say, left them with 95 points. They had 72 goals and let in only 15 goals. Most notably, letting in only the 15 goals was probably the massive, massive thing. The fact that their defence was so tight all season. Arsenal had scored more goals, but their defence wasn't as good. They'd scored 87 goals, but they'd let in 36. So, obviously, as I say, Chelsea won their first title, but it was their first title triumph in 50 years. The last time they won it was in the 1954-55 season. So, absolutely crazy. And this would go on to now see, obviously, over the next few seasons, the next 15, 20 years even, Chelsea starting to win lots of trophies and starting to be up there with the big boys, which obviously included Arsenal, Manchester United, and further down the line would include Manchester City. Anyway, so we're looking at it all now. That particular season, Thierry Henry was the top goal scorer, finishing with 25 goals. Andy Johnson, surprisingly, was the second place top scorer with 21 goals, even though he played for Crystal Palace side that got relegated in the 2004-5 season. Other teams to get relegated that season were Norwich City and Southampton. Didier Drogba was the biggest transfer of the season, coming from Marseille to Chelsea for 24 million. Obviously scored a lot of crucial goals to help Chelsea towards winning their first title in 50 years. In the team of the season, Petr Cech, the Chelsea goalkeeper, was in the team of the season. Gary Neville of Manchester United, John Terry of Chelsea, Rio Ferdinand of Manchester United, and Ashley Cole of Arsenal were all in the back four for the team of the season. In the midfield, it was Sean Wright-Phillips for Manchester City, Steven Gerrard for Liverpool, Frank Lampard for Chelsea, Ian Robben for Chelsea, and then up front, no surprises, Thierry Henry, but a massive surprise in Andy Johnson. Andy Johnson having a fantastic season for Crystal Palace, as I say, despite them getting relegated. It's very, very rare. In fact, I don't think it's happened in the whole of Premier League history that a striker has finished as the second top striker in the league in a team that's been relegated. So, hats off to him for that season. That was his peak of the season, I'd say. Robert Pires, a defender for Arsenal, finished as the third place goal scorer with 14 goals. Obviously, he's not a striker; he's a winger. PFA Player of the Year was John Terry. PFA Young Player of the Year, Wayne Rooney had just transferred from Everton to Manchester United in his breakthrough season, and he scored a hat trick on his debut in the Champions League. So he had a great season, but he was just coming through. The biggest win of the season was Arsenal beating Everton 7-0. The longest winning run was by Chelsea with eight games winning on the trot. Longest unbeaten run, 29 games by Chelsea. Fantastic. They've not even got defeated at home all season as well. Longest losing run was 6 games by Bolton and Tottenham. Highest attendance, Manchester United as usual, 67,989. And lowest attendance was Fulham against West Bromwich Albion, 16,180. Average attendance for the season was 33,893. Going into other things from the season, basically, there was 380 games played. Obviously, 20 teams in the league now, 975 goals scored, and that was averaged out at 2.57 goals per game. So yeah, very, very interesting season. Chelsea, as I say, ended 50 years of waiting to win a title. It was their first Premier League title, and they won it very convincingly in the end, mainly down to a good home record and a solid defence, and a class striker in Didier Drogba, and great players in John Terry and Frank Lampard, and obviously Ian Robben, who was the Dutch left winger who had emerged and had a fantastic season as well. So we're going to go into the next season now, 2005-06, and no surprises, Chelsea continue their dominance. This time, they finished quite a few points ahead as well. They finished top with 91 points. Manchester United finished second with 83 points, so a gap of 8 points. Liverpool finished third this time with 82, and Arsenal finishing fourth with 67. Thierry Henry, again, is a top goal scorer, scoring 27 goals. Ruud van Nistelrooy is the second top goal scorer with 21 goals, and Darren Bent of Charlton Athletic is third top goal scorer with 18. Other key events of the season. The biggest transfer is Michael Essien from Lyon to Chelsea. You can see that Chelsea are flexing their financial muscle under Abramovich at that time. 24.4 million. Also, they had the highest transfer the previous season, as just mentioned in this episode. Arsenal again had a 7-0 win, and they were the biggest scoring game of the season. 7-0 against Middlesbrough. The longest unbeaten run was held by Chelsea again with 13 games. Longest winless run was 14 games by Sunderland, who would go on to get relegated that season, along with West Bromwich Albion and Birmingham City. Longest losing run, no surprises again, Sunderland with 9 games. Highest attendance, now Manchester United's attendance has gone up as they'd revamped the stadium, was Manchester United versus Charlton, and that was 73,006. Lowest attendance for the season was 16,550, yet again at Fulham versus Birmingham. And average attendance was 33,875. There was 380 games played yet again between those 20 teams, and 944 goals scored, averaging a 2.48 goals per game. So that was what happened in that season. Also, the team of the season, Shay Given for Newcastle was in the team of the season, the goalkeeper. Pascal Chimbonda for Wigan Athletic. John Terry and William Gallas, 2 central defenders for Chelsea, helping them to their second consecutive Premier League title. Jamie Carragher was in there as well. In the midfield area, it was Cristiano Ronaldo, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard and Joe Cole. And up front, Thierry Henry and Wayne Rooney. in his second season for Manchester United. Wayne Rooney scored 16 goals, equal with Robbie Keane of Spurs and Frank Lampard of Chelsea. So great season for a lot of players. Steven Gerrard won the PFA Player of the Year award. PFA Young Player of the Year award again was Wayne Rooney. Goal of the season came from Steven Gerrard. That amazing last-minute strike, which West Ham fans won't thank me for reminding them about, in the 2006 FA Cup final, which was at the Millennium Stadium, as Wembley Stadium in England was being redeveloped. They came from 3-1 down to get a 3-3 draw and then beat West Ham on penalties. A bit sad for West Ham, really, because it looked like they were going to win that. But there we go. That's how it goes. As I say, so another great season for Chelsea. That's their second on the trot. But what would happen in 2006-07? Tune in for the next episode to find out. Continue to like and subscribe. This is Football Heaven 24/7. I've been your host, Jamie Carter. All the best.